if your annoying comment manages to make it past the Glock 40 with the 315-round mags, which, by the way, are illegal for us to own, if you manage to dart away from the C2 taser gun, which is illegal for us to own, if you manage to get past the mace, which is illegal for us to own, or you manage to skip behind the extendable baton, which, say it with me, Plattsburgh, is illegal for us to own, and your annoying comment penetrates the shield, the level 3 body armor of a state trooper, you're a felon. And in the state of New York, if that happens in your home, they can go in, they can arrest you without a warrant, they can take your guns. Yes, they could. So now let's look at that, okay? The tragedy of our First Amendment has been violated, our Fourth Amendment has been violated, and at the same time, our Second Amendment has been violated. Way to go, Senator Joe Griffo, and all but 13 New York State senators who actually signed that piece of legislation. Now, do any of you know how long it took before that came to the floor of the Senate? After the SAFE Act was passed? Less than 24 hours. On January 15th, less than 24 hours after the SAFE Act became that new unconstitutional piece of legislation, this bill was introduced. And guess who the 13 New York State senators were who didn't vote for it? They were the most loudly professed liberal, progressive senators in the state of New York. And I called every single one of them. And I said, thank you. And so should you. And you know why? Because this isn't about Republican and Democrat anymore. This is about the issues. And in this case, it's about the Constitution of the United States of America. But I want to say to you that all isn't lost, because like me, you're here today because you believe this state is worth fighting for. Is that correct, Plattsburgh? Yeah. Do you think this country is worth fighting for? Yeah. Do you think the Constitution is worth fighting for? Yeah. Thank you. They have not yet realized, by the way, that we are watching them. We are gathering, we are listening, and we are becoming stronger. They thought we were going to go away. But in February, we marched 2 times on Albany, didn't we, in the bitter cold? And they thought that we were going to go away, but did we? No. No. And in March, we organized again. And we met in Syracuse in the bitter cold with Sheriff Mack. And we also organized in March, and we went to, Governor. And that was bitter cold. And they thought we were going to go away, but did we? No. No. And in April, we ended up in Elmira, and we organized there. And we actually went to Rome, New York, and they thought we were going to go away, but did we? No. No. And in May, we delivered 400,000 signed postcards demanding the repeal of the SAFE Act to the floor of the New York State Assembly, and we were booed. And did we go away? No. No. And actually in June, we organized again, and we went to Lowville with Sheriff Mike Carpinelli, and we had a great rally there. And then we once again went to the steps of Albany with Judge Janine Pirro, and they thought we were going to go away, but did we? No. No. And last month, we ended up protesting the governor's march in Indian Lake, that debacle, public publicity stunt that he did to bring tourism to the North Country. And we also organized in Suffolk County, Long Island. Did we go away? No. And in August, we're here today. Do they have something to worry about? Yeah. You better believe they do. We have a multi-step program for you, and I'm going to give you those steps right now. Things you can do and walk away with today so that you feel empowered to do something about this. Are you ready? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Step number 1, we will not sign, circulate, or use any nominating petitions, for town councilman, county legislator, a judge, a sheriff, a district attorney, a New York State assemblyman, a New York State senator, or a governor who believes in the SAFE Act or votes for further gun control. Do you have that with me, Plattsburgh? Yeah. Absolutely. Okay, number 2. We will not vote for anybody who infringes on the Constitution of the United States of America. That's right. Step number 3, and this is a biggie. We're going to make sure that anytime a court case is heard where the SAFE Act is involved, that there will be at least one person on that jury who will be strong enough to stand up and say, not guilty. Because guess what? The Constitution procures a little thing called the people of the power. The power of the people, excuse me. And the power of the people is a little thing called jury nullification, baby. Okay? Because when your legislators do not stand up and get rid of an unjust piece of legislation, then the people have the responsibility to do that. Unconstitutional laws deserve nullification in the courts. They deserve nullification in the juries. They deserve nullification at the ballot box, and they deserve nullification by the people, and that's you. This is our arsenal, and it is a powerful thing to behold. Now, I'm going to tell you something. Don't forget through all of this that it's really about personal liberties and individual rights. I am a woman, I am a mother, and I am a teacher. I have the right to defend myself with whatever weapon I choose and as many bullets as is necessary to do so. And so do you. All of us have those rights. And let me tell you something. It's very clear. One thing is very clear. Who doesn't have the right? Who doesn't have the right is Prince Andrew, the Emperor of Manhattan. He and the 8 million anti-gun, Bloomberg-loving cliff dwellers in New York City do not have the right to take our guns away. Article 2, Section 4 of the New York State Constitution, New York State Civil Rights Law, says, and I will quote, "A well-armed militia is both needed and necessary for the safety and the security of our state, and therefore the right to bear arms cannot be infringed, cannot be infringed, cannot be infringed." Now, if you listen to the governor's rhetoric, you would swear he thinks our weapons are weapons of mass destruction. Oh, I'm here to tell you that it's all smoke and mirrors, because he thinks while he's doing this thing over here that you've forgotten that he's doing that thing over there. He thinks we're pretty stupid. He doesn't think that we remember that he stole thousands of acres from us in the Adirondacks right from underneath our noses. Have we forgotten Plattsburgh? No. Hell no, Cuomo. Okay? Here's the other thing he thinks we forgot. He thinks we've forgotten that he shut down all the hunting camps in northern New York. Have we forgotten that he did that to us? No. Hell no, Cuomo. The other thing I would like to say is that he thinks we're pretty stupid, because he thinks that we're going to pay $1,000 in sales tax for our side-by-sides, and then he's not going to allow us to register them so we can use them in the state of New York. Are we stupid, Plattsburgh? Hell no, Cuomo. And the last thing is he thinks his tower of power looks like this, with him at the very top. I like to look at this from a totally different angle. Governor Cuomo, you're on the bottom with the rest of the elected officials, and do you know why? Because you work for us. So, are our weapons of mass destruction? Oh, no, they're not. He's made them weapons of mass distraction. Are we distracted, Plattsburgh? No. Oh, no. Does he have something to worry about? Yeah. You better believe it. And guess what? For that reason, I'm going to suggest to you that you do not register your guns.
We will not comply.
That's right. And the reason I say that is this. Registered and legal today can turn out to be illegal and confiscated tomorrow. Because that's what happened in the 1980s in New York City with Mayor David Dinkins. He put out an all-call alert and said he wanted all semi-automatics registered. And you know what he did 60 days later? He said they were illegal. And he confiscated 1,800 weapons from law-abiding citizens, just like you and me. So it can happen again. Yes, you're absolutely correct. And the last group of people I would like to turn some attention to is Homeland Security. Okay, Homeland Security, as long as you put your people on the north and your weapons are facing towards Canada, and you put your people on the southern border and those weapons are facing Mexico, we got you back. Okay? But the minute you take that 2 billion rounds of ammunition you've bought over the last year and your fully automatic weapons and you turn them inland into the United States of America, then we will be forced to show you what we learned from every great teacher in our past. And that is from 1789 until just about present, we had Homeland Security in this country. We didn't need you. It was called what, people? The Second Amendment. That's right. So in closing, I'd like to say this. When all those anti-gunners say to you, what do you need a weapon like that for? I'd ask you to, instead of answering that question, try to plant your feet firmly in the ground, look them square in the eye, and try and say this to them. Excuse me, bub. But you know what? The United States of America is not a country of need and deserve. The United States of America is a country of want and earn. Our dreams aren't built on need, they soar because of want. We want our guns. We earned the right to buy our guns, and we should have the right to keep our guns. And you, Andrew Cuomo, Sheldon Silver, Dean Skelos, and all you soon-to-be former assemblymen and state senators do not have the right to take them away. Just try it. Just try it. Because on days like this, that shouldn't be happening. We're going to show you what will happen if you try to not do what it is you're supposed to do by law. We will vote you out. We will vote you out. We will vote you out, won't we, Plattsburgh? That's right. So I want to say thank you to everybody for coming here today and organizing with us, and Steve McLaughlin and Sheriff Dave Favreau and Sheriff Mack, and uniting to take back our state, to take back our country, and to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Because thousands of people just like you are doing this all over the place on days that shouldn't be happening. Because we're here to prove that the Constitution was not written to limit the power of people by the government. The Constitution was written so that we, the people, could limit the power of the government. So, in closing, Orson Welles said, in times of universal deceit, the truth is a revolutionary act. We talked about people who have deceived us. We've discussed some truths, and I've given you an action plan. There's only one part left, isn't there? Go home and think about it. That's right. We will not comply. Thank you so much, Plattsburgh.